with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So,
Me sucking, you know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
The drama surrounding Jada Pinkett Smith refuses to stay buried, no matter how many headlines try to push it aside. Just when it seemed like the Oscar slap would be the final chapter in the never-ending saga of Will and Jada, new whispers began rising to the surface. This time, the storm isn't just coming from bloggers or anonymous insiders. It's coming from people who claim they lived through it. LisaRaye McCoy and Tisha Campbell, two women who say they're done staying silent. In an era where celebrity empires are being shaken by resurfaced files and long-buried allegations, power couples are feeling the pressure. Names once untouchable are suddenly being spoken with hesitation. And as speculation swirls around industry elites, Will and Jada's carefully curated image of unconventional love and spiritual growth is once again under a microscope. But for LisaRaye and Tisha,
he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of...
I have no idea what's going on. I have no...
This isn't just gossip. It's personal. Long before the word entanglement became a cultural meme, Jada had already built a reputation in certain circles for blurring boundaries. When her relationship with singer August Alsina exploded into public view, many saw it as a shocking revelation. A wounded young artist, battling illness and addiction, finding comfort in the arms of a woman nearly 2 decades older and married to one of Hollywood's biggest stars. It felt messy, complicated, and painfully intimate. Jada would later frame it as healing, as growth, as something that happened during a separation. But to critics, it felt like something else entirely. August didn't look like a man who had orchestrated a publicity stunt. He looked heartbroken. He spoke about losing money, relationships, respect. He spoke about loving deeply and believing he was part of something real. The birthday messages he once wrote to Jada were poetic, almost worshipful.
I open the door to Duane's dressing room, and that's when I see Duane and...
Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo, so Charlie has been...
And he was like, you know. He said, Will me, Diddy made...
Filled with devotion that went far beyond a casual fling. He described her as divine as heaven on earth. And when everything unraveled, he stood alone in the fallout while the Smiths regrouped behind closed doors. For LisaRaye, the situation triggered something deeper. She questioned how a young man who came seeking guidance could end up in a romantic relationship instead. How someone who saw Jada as a mentor, almost maternal, could so quickly become an entanglement. Her words weren't subtle. She didn't see empowerment. She saw imbalance. Vulnerability met with opportunity. And then there's Tisha Campbell. Tisha and Jada were once real friends. They attended each other's weddings in the 90s, stood side by side as their husbands built careers in Hollywood.
It's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life.
No idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yeah.
There's trust there, or at least the appearance of it. But according to long-circulating rumors, that trust was tested in ways that still sting. Allegations have swirled for years about complicated dynamics between Will Smith, Tisha's ex-husband Duane Martin, and Jada herself. Stories of blurred lines, shared secrets, financial entanglements far more binding than friendship. When Tisha's marriage to Duane began to crumble under financial strain and mounting debt, she reportedly discovered that the Smiths had deeper ties to their assets than she realized. Loans, paperwork.
And it's like, I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me well prepared.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Duane was standing up.
Ownership structures that left her walking away with far less than she expected. To her, it felt like betrayal layered on top of heartbreak. And while the public painted her as unstable or dramatic, she was quietly untangling a web she claimed she never fully understood. LisaRaye tells a similar story. After introducing Duane Martin to her then-husband, she says the energy shifted. Friendships grew unusually close. Boundaries became unclear. She watched her marriage deteriorate while whispers followed her from room to room in Hollywood. She has openly admitted her fear of dating in Los Angeles, describing a culture of secrets and hidden lifestyles that left her feeling like a pawn in someone else's game. As old interviews resurface and former assistants make explosive claims, the narrative grows darker. Allegations about mentorships that felt more like grooming, about young men brought into powerful circles only to be discarded when they were no longer useful.
So proud of her for being so honest. I'm so proud of her.
Killing him. Murder. Like, murder. There was murder in there.
Names like August Alsina and even other young artists have been dragged into speculative comparisons, their struggles reframed through a lens of exploitation rather than coincidence. To be clear, many of these claims remain allegations and rumors, fiercely denied or unproven. But what makes the story linger isn't just the accusations, it's the pattern people believe they see. A pattern of intimacy intertwined with influence, of personal relationships overlapping with power dynamics, of emotional vulnerability meeting celebrity authority. What complicates everything is that Will and Jada have long presented themselves as radically honest. They built a brand around transparency, around unconventional love, around doing the work. Red Table Talk became a confessional booth for their marriage. They spoke about addiction, childhood trauma, infidelity. They seemed almost fearless in their openness. And yet, critics argue that what we saw was controlled vulnerability, a narrative shaped carefully, strategically, always just enough. When the Oscars slap happened, many assumed the couple would retreat, let the dust settle, reclaim privacy. Instead, the spotlight only intensified. Old rumors resurfaced, new connections were drawn. And now, with other Hollywood scandals shaking public trust, every past headline feels heavier. For Tisha and LisaRaye, this isn't about trending topics. It's about feeling silenced for years while a more powerful couple maintained control of the narrative. It's about watching the world laugh at entanglements while they claim their own marriages were quietly imploding behind the scenes. It's about the pain of realizing that loyalty in Hollywood can be transactional. And at the center of it all is Jada, a woman some admire for her candor and others criticize for her choices. Is she misunderstood? Manipulated by the same system people accuse her of exploiting? Or has she mastered the art of surviving in an industry where vulnerability is currency? The truth likely lives somewhere in the gray. Hollywood is a place where mentorship, friendship, ambition, and desire collide in complicated ways, where fame distorts relationships and power can blur moral lines. The public sees headlines. The people involved live consequences. What makes this story so gripping isn't just the scandal. It's the emotion underneath it. The hurt in August's voice, the frustration in Tisha's posts, the defiance in LisaRaye's interviews, the exhaustion in Will's public apologies, and Jada, often calm and composed, sitting at red tables explaining her version of events while the world debates her character. So now the question shifts to you. Do you believe these women are finally reclaiming their truth after years of silence? Or do you think this is just another cycle of Hollywood rumors spinning out of control? Is Jada being unfairly targeted? Or is this the inevitable unraveling of secrets kept too long? I want to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's have an honest conversation about power, vulnerability, and accountability in the entertainment industry. And if you appreciate deep dives that go beyond the surface headlines, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There's always more beneath the story, and we're going to keep uncovering it together.
Always been afraid to date in LA. I heard stories and,
Okay.